All right. So let's see what's coming up next. Right to that. So again, just as a reminder of what's coming up next here, go ahead and stand up if you have gone to one of the workshops in the last week. Okay, cool. So, Nikki, whose workshop did you go to?
Dante's.
You went to Dante's workshop. I know Spencer was supposed to be the one he ended up catching in. Did you find any value? Did you like learn anything that you use kind of like right on the spot on your next appointments?
Yeah, for the drop down, I think I had an appointment right after that Tuesday one.
Yeah.
So I think so.
Yeah. I know you made some sales yesterday. Yeah, so that was really positive. Awesome. Who else got a chance to hop on workshop page?
I went to your school.
I mean, you've been in a million workshops. You learn obviously quite a bit. What was something that you got out of that? I like Paige. She got her notes, right? So she isn't just spitting off them. Rolando, what about you?
I went to the same one, the dropping down one.
Yeah.
I definitely said like I learned like more like on the script side of things, like
Yeah.
how to say things more fluid, you know?
Yeah.
Like it just sounded like when he was doing it, it just sounded a lot better than what I was doing. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to actually
Trying some of this stuff out. Cool. Andrew, about yourself?
Went to Dante's.
Yeah. What was something you got out of that?
I would say building rapport. That's really
Yeah.
important.
That was something you got out of it. Paige, what was something that you got out?
Honestly, he like kind of emphasized how important it is to know the bigger plans. Like knowing that for these guys to yeah, that was really awesome.
The power of using payment plans. Sure.
Yeah, and then the 5-2.
Okay. Let's take a screenshot of this. This is going to go through and ask what are the workshops you're going to be going to for the next week or so. So if you want to go ahead and check off the ones that you are, feel free to select them. So that way myself and our staff can do our job. We can hold you accountable, right? Kind of get you to do the things that you said you're going to do. So if you go ahead and check those off, that would be awesome. All right. So give you a few seconds. Again, look at your Google Calendar. Look at the schedule. Don't just guess. You already decided a little bit of this. And if you're like, wait, I didn't put as many as I wanted to. Well, now you can put a couple more. We're going to talk a little bit here about Father's Day shopping. So this is the sentence I would write down. You know, as you know, Father's Day is coming up. Most people buy like a tie or a cool sport thing are cool, but you know, never really get used. What now?
And the ones that you haven't made.
Right, let's change that up real quick. All right, what did I do not? What did I not get? So Wednesdays is what time? 6 to 7? Okay. And then the Thursday one is missing, right? Thursday is from 6 to 7. Okay, sorry about that. It's not a good excuse, but we did just change our schedule from last week to this week, so I thought I caught everything, but all right, so keep on rolling. So can I show you what most of my customers are doing for Father's Day? So can I show you what most of our customers? That's actually a really great line, kind of like an assumptive close. All right, so a couple of items. Some of these might be items that you're not very familiar with, and that's okay. So the first knife that I want you to kind of go ahead and write down is called the Hardy Slicer. I'm gonna actually pass this around so you can check it out. So that is called the barbecue knife. That is good for all things that are frozen that you're trying to take apart. That's good for taking apart ribs. It's like a butcher knife with a double D edge. I call it the hammer with the double D edge. So that thing is awesome. Really good for cutting through for those people that like to barbecue some veggies. Well, some veggies are really, really hard before they barbecue it, like squash, like acorn squash, for example. Grilled acorn squash is delicious, especially if you can slice it in half before you cut it, before you barbecue it, and smother it with a bunch of honey and butter. Yeah, dude, if you've never done that before, it's gonna change your life. It's amazing. But it's really, really, really hard to cut if you have some crappy knife. And that's what most people typically will cook it all the way through, and then you got to do it, but then you miss the whole like marinating process. So that's a really good one. We can engrave it. Guys love stuff with their name engraved on it. Ladies do too, by the way, but men really, really, really do. You know, it's kind of like we're just like, this is our product, this is our thing. It's really awesome. And here's the thing, engraving is 14 bonus points. So you can actually offer free engraving on pretty much everything Cutco sells. Here's an awesome gift. Get your dad a really kick-ass set of steak knives. So that way he doesn't have to use the old flimsy, ones. Man, we went to a really nice steakhouse yesterday for a family friend that came over, and the steakhouse were those little tiny like wooden ones with those two little rivets on them. And I was just like, this sucks. Like, I can't believe we're spending all this money and the steak knives stink. Pocket knives and the lockback knives, also with their name engraved on it. What, Evan? I mean, you got to have pride in what you use. You got to have pride in what you use. Actually, I'm kind of mad I didn't do that last night. So Mrs. Jones, let's make a list of all of the dads who you want to spoil this year. And maybe I can even get you some of the stuff for free. Maybe I can get you some of this stuff for free. So if they've got like, 2 brothers, a dad, and an uncle, right? We got 4 people that we can buy. Well, you can be like, how about this? If you get 3 of these pocket knives, I'll give you the 4th for free. I make up promotions. Hey, Mrs. Jones, we're doing a promotion right now that if you buy this Father's Day gift, I'll give you free engraving on the blade. All right, most of the time you go free, engraving at like the mall costs money. So hook them up for free. It's 14 bonus points. But if they added a $100 knife, we dropped 14 bonus points. That's still positive a lot. Right? That's still positive a lot. So these are some things that can be really helpful for you. Mrs. Jones. And the reason why to get these Father's Day gifts is because Cutco just makes a really great gift. It brings the family together. It's always the right size and fit, and it's never going to go out of style. They're going to think of you every single time they use it. It's personalized, and they're going to have it forever guaranteed. Right? So Cutco takes 2 weeks to show up. I always tell people it's a 3rd week if they want to get it engraved. Well, that would kind of almost fall about 1 week before Father's Day at this point. So what are they waiting for? Oh, they're going to go to CVS and buy some crappy like cologne that dad doesn't like? Or, I mean, let me ask you, what did you get your dad for Father's Day last year? Do you even remember? Yeah, that's how memorable that was. You don't even remember, and I promise you. Okay, I'm not saying he doesn't love you. I'm just saying you got to be a little more thoughtful, and thoughtfulness requires time between the time of the day and today. So every single one of your customers this week, you got to bring it up, because they're not going to bring it up, because they just, they forgot Mother's Day. Hey, how about this? What if they forgot Mother's Day? Could you give them like a little after the Mother's Day gift? I'll sometimes use that, like Mrs. Jones. You can call this like a late Mother's Day gift. I mean, what do they give you? Nothing. Exactly. Okay, and some flowers. Well, they're really lovely too. But these would be awesome also. Even, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like an engraved cleaver, I don't think Dad even has to know what he's going to use it for. But I want you to just check this out. If you got that as a gift, even if you don't know how to use it, nothing badass. Tell me. Okay, I don't know where my hunting knife. I'm assuming Paige has them or something. But here's the thing, guys. You don't know where. Oh yeah. Check out these K-bar knives. That's really good. I'm always looking for. Dude, look at these K-bar knives. Wouldn't this be nice to have when you just don't really need them, but you kind of want 'em? Right, so these are awesome Christmas gifts, Father's Day gifts, sorry. They can get their name engraved right on the blade. Anybody have like a dad or a grandpa that like served military? You can get their like military logo right on there, right? Marines, Navy, whatever they were. And that could be something that could be really powerful for them, like a really cool special gift. Get it for, get it for the uncle that that helped you out with your car payment. I don't know. And here's the thing, just out of curiosity, what are you gonna get your own dad for Father's Day gift? You could get him some Cutco if you wanted to. And then you make commission on your own sale. Fun fact. Okay, I always got my family some Cutco for the holidays. I figured I'm gonna hook up, it's gonna increase my average order size and increase my career sales, and I get a commission on it. I don't know how many times I go to CVS and they give me anything back other than the stupid receipt, which I don't even look. There's like 15 coupons on it, but same thing. All right, so some good stuff here that you can use. Let's see if there's anything that I forgot. Garden tools, also a really good one. A lot of dads are all about their garden. Most garden tools suck. I want to pass this one around to you so you can check it out. And I just want you to see how insanely durable that steel is. Run that over with your tank if you wanted to. The thing is awesome. Okay, they got a ruler on them so you can measure your bulbs. And you know how like Texas earth is like hardcore concrete? Like they could literally, careful, please don't drop the knives. That would be awesome. Okay, we got Band-Aids in there, but I don't know if I got a Band-Aid big enough for that one. What's another good? Oh, the spatula sweater for like the sandwich making dad. Okay, that's another good one. Here's like a weird random one, but like our cookware. So like the 3 or the 2-quart saucepan for the dad that likes to do his own barbecue sauces. The biggest benefit, and if you want to write some of this down, you can, is that our cookware has a perfect stay fit cover. So no steam comes out. So when he's making his sauces, he can let them marinate forever and they will never reduce. So it just kind of keeps cooking in its own juices and it's awesome. What about an ice cream scoop?
Oh, yeah.
Some dads love their ice cream. Our ice cream scoop is one where you don't have to actually microwave the ice cream. You don't have to put it in the thing under hot water so you get that weird hot water cold ice cream flavor that kind of would have been creepy. All right, so a couple of things I'm going to go ahead and talk about here. We want to help you make more sales. If you're getting the I don't know if I need Cutco, it is because you are not establishing the need well enough. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how to establish the need for Cutco, how to increase people wanting what you're showing, not just, I guess maybe I'll take a look at it. Okay, so there's a couple of things. So go ahead and open up your training manual if you have it, and you can literally just add some of this stuff into your manual. Or maybe you can just highlight stuff on your manual. Stuff that I'm going to accentuate that maybe if if it's been a while and you've been working here for a long time and you've kind of lost some of the passion when you were new at this thing, this is some of the stuff that really helps sell. All right, so first of all, I think that we got to bring back a little bit of the pride of Made in America. And here's the deal. You have to bring it back. You can't wait for the customers to be excited about it first. Cutco is made in the USA, not some foreign country. This is something that if you make it exciting and you're proud of it, then they can be proud about it too. So this is going to be now, I believe, on the top of page number 3, when it says we're made in the United States. Okay, we're supporting US economy. We're supporting American factory workers. Who knows somebody that's a factory worker? And those people sometimes will do that job for like 30, 40, 50 years and no appreciation. Well, we appreciate the hardcore craftsmen that are in Olean, New York. All right, we're going to go to the super shears. A lot of this is going to be about painting pictures of experiences that customers have had to remind them of what those experiences are like and see if you can get that feeling back into their brain. So that way they can make that decision based on those feelings of those emotions of using stuff that stinks. So let's talk about the shears. Mrs. Jones, don't you hate it when shears bend when you're cutting something really hard? Right. Let me show you these, and then you cut the penny. Mrs. Jones, don't you hate when you can't find the shears? Well, the great thing about these ones is you actually get a little space in your wood block. I want you to write this down. Shears holster. No, some of you guys don't know about the shears holster. It's this little piece of plastic that you can just attach to the side of anything, not just the Cutco wood block, but anything, and boom, it'll be like a little knife holster. It's item number 79C. Item number 79C in your Cutco orders app. Add 3 to 4 CPO to every order, guys.
79C.
It's 79C or W or R, depending on what color the shears are. But they're these little cool, it's like this little cool attachment you stick to the side of the wood block, and boom, the shears go right on it. Now, if they get the signature set, it goes right in it. That's kind of cool. Let's talk about the disadvantages of common knives. We're on page 3. Are you too cool to make the gross face because you've already sold a couple bucks? Dude, you got to be even cooler. You got to make the grossest face that you possibly can when you're talking about the wooden handles, because it sounds different. Absorbs blood, grease, bacteria. Whenever you're doing stuff like that, you really got to slow down so they really hear the words that are coming out of your mouth. Mrs. Jones, have you ever seen a melted plastic handle before? Mrs. Jones, don't you hate it when you have to wash dangerous knives by hand? Yeah, that's really dangerous. And plus, you can't let your kids actually wash the dishes that day if you have a bunch of dangerous knives in that pool of soapy water. It's really easy to slip out of your hand. Really dangerous. I know there's a line that talks about how, Mrs. Jones, how often do you sharpen your knives? There's an extra thing I used to throw in there. Mrs. Jones, you know how often you're supposed to sharpen it? Yeah, a lot of companies that are all straight edge knives recommend you do it every single time you use it. No one does. So most people are using really dull, really dangerous knives. Really dull, really dangerous knives. Mrs. Jones, talking about the rivets, I think that's at the bottom of page 3. Don't you hate it when the knives are kind of wobbly, when you can hear them jiggle and then they break? I'm gonna throw something in here that's not even on there. This is how I used to sell the Forever Guarantee. Not sell, but promote it. So Mrs. Jones, we have a Forever Guarantee on our product line. We're about to, you're about to go through it. If you were going to write the most crazy guarantee for a knife company, what were some of the things that you would put on it? I'd ask my customers to come up with their own version of the guarantee. No matter what they come up with, it's never as good as ours, because they can't imagine that we would do all of the things that we do. Ms. Jones, what are some things that you would want to have out of a guarantee? They always say like, well, I guess they replace it for free. Anything else? Be like, yeah, that's one of the 4 points of our guarantee. That's one of the 4 features of it. So you really kind of blow them away with the guarantee. All right, let's talk about some of the knives. Again, your job is to sell each piece of Cutco, not just show each piece of Cutco. All right, let's talk about the paring knife. Mrs. Jones, don't you hate it when some of the handles of your paring knives are short and dinky and dig into your palm, right? And so I used to actually take this paring knife. This is one of, like, some of these knives are from like my Cutco demo. I've just literally taken them with me throughout my life. And I used to have a little short paring knife like this, and I would show it to them. Mrs. Jones, don't you hate it when we have these short paring knives? All right, Mrs. Jones, let me show you what our paring knife looks like. And you're like, well, I don't have the paring knife. Well, win it in your fast art. That's an option. Or number 2, set up a contest with me. Every piece of Cutco I've ever gotten was because I set up a contest with a manager. So if you're out of your fast art and you want more Cutco, well then make a contest with me. Here's what it's supposed to sound like. Hey, Damien, I didn't get this piece of Cutco in my sample kit. What if I sold this much Cutco this week? Can you buy it for me? And I'm like, well, if it's a good amount, I'll say yes. If it's a wussy amount, I'll say whatever you said plus a couple bucks more. But if you want more stuff, you got to add it to your own sample kit. The trimmer, Mrs. Jones, don't you hate it when you're cutting a tomato with a really dull knife and it smushes? And then you got to make the tomato slice really thick just to make a slice out of it. And now you get the tomato juice in the bread because you had so much tomato. Can you guys like envision all of that as I'm explaining it? Well, your customers can too. And then all of a sudden you grab a tomato and you're on Zoom and you slice it and you show how thin that is. Be like, Mrs. Jones, I don't even cook that much. If I can do it, how awesome would it be to be able to get 1,000 slices out of each tomato? This is why if you're on Zoom, you better be cutting food. I'm telling you, it's $3 to $4 every 2 weeks on tomatoes, maybe carrots. And if you want to go big, maybe some French bread. Congratulations, you also got lunch after that. Okay, grab a couple of slices of cheese and there we go. You got a little deconstructed pizza, throw it in the microwave. So Mrs. Jones, look how thin that is. You got to actually have a little showmanship with this thing, right? Show that right on the camera. If you're at the customer's house, it better be a mess, right? The bigger the mess, the bigger the sale. The petite carver, Mrs. Jones, don't you hate having to waste so much money on pre-cut food? They're like, well, what do you mean? Well, let me do some math for you, right? So if you buy a whole cantaloupe versus pre-sliced cantaloupe, it's going to be like $3 versus $7, right? Well, that's $4 over the course of a year. That's $200. And just over the course of the 10 years, that's $2,000, Mrs. Jones, just because you've got one good knife. So this little math, I would always show it, especially if the husband was there. Because don't husbands like to save money? Okay, they're the ones that are typically going to say yes, let's definitely invest into this, or no, it's too much money. Well, if they don't have some value here, they're going to definitely say it's too much money. So again, you save $4 every single week by doing, and again, this is like you save it on the pineapple, you save it on the pre-cut chicken, right? You save it on slicing up bread. 50 weeks, I know it's 52 weeks, but close enough. $200 a year, $2,000 every 10 years, just because, and plus it's kind of fun because you get to do some of this stuff yourself and you get so much more of it. And also nobody's touching the inside of your food, right? People that are pre-cutting stuff for you, I don't know if they're washing their hand. All right, the fork, Mrs. Jones, don't you hate getting burnt by little grease torpedoes when you're turning over a bacon because you get too close with that regular fork? Well, that's why we have the nice long turning forks. You can get really, really far from it, but still turn it really easily. This is great for turning over sausage and bacon. So that way you don't have to play grease hockey with like the bacon and sausage, trying to get stuff to turn over. The chef knife, Mrs. Jones, don't you hate when you have to use a little tiny knife to chop vegetables over and over again and it destroys it? It takes forever. But with the chef knife, Mrs. Jones, check out this video. You can do multiple vegetables at the same time so you can get out of the kitchen faster. That's with the chef knife. The slicer. Mrs. Jones, don't you hate having to waste so much money on lettuce? Like, what do you mean? Well, you can buy a whole lettuce for $1 versus a pre-chopped up lettuce in a bag for $4. Mrs. Jones, you ever made fresh bread with one of those bread machines before? If they say yes to that, don't you hate having to wait till it cools down before you can eat it? I know, it's always so much better when it's nice and warm. With the bread slicer, you can actually cut through hot, piping hot bread right out of the oven. So that way you can make like the world's greatest PB&J. You guys ever made a peanut butter jelly sandwich with warm bread right out of the oven? Dude, game over. Okay, it is such an awesome experience. By the way, can't you see it and almost taste it in your brain right now? All you're doing is painting pictures and the customer is going to be able to see it for themselves. And then Mr. Jones, do you ever do any barbecuing? Yeah, do you ever do those long cooks? You know, the brisket or the tri-tip? Man, don't you hate it when you're slicing it with a dull knife and you got to really, really chop it up and all that juice goes everywhere that you've been just conserving in the food? Oh man, when you use the bread slicer, you can make super thin slices, even through that brisket that's been in the smoker for 18 hours that comes out almost like butter. Dude, it's gonna keep all the juices inside. And the husband's like, I need to buy that knife and I need to buy some brisket. I need to buy a smoker. I got to do all those things because they're just like envisioning their brain doing all that stuff. Right, a couple extra ones that are not here, the table knives. Okay, Mr. Jones, don't you hate it when you're slicing through like a really nice steak that you did and like the whole table starts to shake? You get what's called the earthquake effect. Right, because you're just like, everything is moving on the table, the wine glass falls over, and now you get into a fight about it. All right,
You should say that you can use chicken.
yeah, the turning fork is also really good. Mr. Jones, this is a couple of the last one. Don't you hate it when like the peelers jiggle and wobble when the ice cream scoop has to microwave the ice cream? Don't you hate it when potatoes are sticking? Okay, don't you hate it when pizza cutters are so hard to clean? Don't you hate it when the kitchen tools are all melted and mismatched? Same as the flatware. And then you show Cutco. The deal is ask these questions and then show them our solutions. It's not just the problem is the junky knife. The problem is the experience with every single knife they might be using and using incorrectly in wrong form. Wanted to go ahead first of all and just say thank you to some of the staff members here. So if you're on staff with our team, I know obviously Rebecca is on there too. I just want you to go ahead and stand up. These are the individuals that are going, that they're the ones that send you the reminders for the phone jams that you said that you wanted to jump on. Right? These are the people that are sending the, the info, the stats. These are the people that are, helping push out the base pay. These are the people that are running your interviews, running your training. So these are the people that really help do this thing. So I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for helping us with this summer. We're going to change a lot of lives this summer. We're going to have an incredible experience. And, I couldn't do this without you guys. And so let's give these guys a big round of applause. I appreciate your effort. And this summer, we're definitely going to be looking for more staff members. Y'all can sit down. And so if you're thinking about how can I put something extra on my resume? How can I join the staff? Couple simple things. Number one is just be consistent. You don't have to be the top salesperson, but just be consistent every week. No goose eggs. Number two is offer to help people. And number three is don't quit. That does really help. Okay. Before we go, I want to kind of line up some of you guys to get a chance to go do some field training. So if you're on staff, raise your hand if you've got demos booked up. Okay, I know Rolando do, Lily does, Paige does. All right, so if you haven't gone field training, okay, I want you to go ahead and meet some of these people and give yourself a chance to watch some of these appointments. So Chris, I'm gonna see if you can get a chance to go field training with Rolando. I think that would be awesome. And then Tyson, I wanna see if you can get a chance to go field training with Paige. Yeah, Rebecca also. Notice that I'm not sharing my screen. Rebecca, do you have any demos booked up so far? I know that you were feeling a little under the weather, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I have one tomorrow. I have one tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you text message Alana.
Alana, okay.
Yeah, she'll be in the web PDI. Rebecca's gonna reach out to you and see if we can hook you up with some field training. Brianna will get you field training when you get back. And then Nikki, let's see if you can go field training with Paige. I know you've got a couple of appointments. And then Danny, let's see if we can get you field training also with Paige. I know you got a couple extra appointments. So if I said somebody's name who's in this room, go and get their phone number real quick and see if you can hook up a field training with them before you go. And then Erin, actually, also if you can hook up with Rebecca. So Rebecca, if you can message Erin, that'd be great to have her go field training with you also.
Sure.
Okay. And if their appointments are on Zoom, you'll just hop on Zoom, you'll turn your camera off and just take a bunch of notes as much as possible. I know some of you guys have gotten a chance to go field training. So anyways, hook up with the person whose name I said. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you at the phone jams that you signed up for and at this SLDM meeting for the team meeting. Assistant managers, once you've set up your field training, make sure that you do that quick couple of questions that I texted you about with each person. And then we will look forward to catching up with you guys soon.